Are you not entertained? Boom, $98,000 Bitcoin and running. What the hell is happening? Why is Bitcoin going up? Is this just the beginning? Well, I got news for you. You better buckle up and cue up that record for the non-believers. Don't stop believing. Oops, sorry, friends. That's for the believers. Here we go. That's right. And if history rhymes, we could begin accelerating massively. How massively? Well, what if I told you Bitcoin could double from these prices we're at today and in just 1 month? That's right. And also remember, there's price and value. $98,000 Bitcoin is fine, but we're going to show you why it's nothing in the grand scheme of things and why Bitcoin's current implied value is $525,000. I'm Rustin, head of news at Simply Bitcoin, and it's Bitcoin all-time high day. Again, we got a ton of bullish developments to get to. Send it!
We're oscillating 20 times faster than treasury bills. We're oscillating 8 times harder than the S&P index. So we put this crypto reactor in the middle of the company. It makes the bonds very, very compelling. That allows the ARBs to do their thing, allows the fixed income guys to do their thing. And so what we're doing is we're not electrocuting the traditional market. The traditional market can't handle Bitcoin.
Right.
It doesn't want 60% a year interest that's volatile. It wants 6% a year interest. By the way, that's only 10% of Bitcoin. If I give them the 6%, I get to keep the other 90%. And who gets that? My equity holders get it.
What's happening, you ask? History is happening, as MicroStrategy just became the first Bitcoin company to enter the top 100 U.S. companies. MicroStrategy crossed the $100 billion market cap threshold to become the 93rd largest public company in the U.S. Over the last 24 hours alone, MicroStrategy has passed 40 companies on the top charts. In fact, it's now larger than Intel and roughly the same size as Micron. And just a little cherry on top, MicroStrategy is now $15 billion larger than Dell. You know what's absolutely wild? What you're seeing with MicroStrategy is just the opening act. This is a whole lot bigger than just the massive MicroStrategy pump. Saylor isn't just making headlines, he's making it painfully clear. Either you buy Bitcoin or you get left in the dust. This could be the domino that triggers hyper-Bitcoinization. It's not rocket science, it's a playbook, and it goes a little something like this. Take as much worthless fiat as possible, convert it into finite Bitcoin, use Bitcoin's ridiculous performance to attract investors starving for yield, repeat aggressively. Now here's the kicker. MicroStrategy isn't the only one running this game. Semler Scientific is also already on it. They jumped 27.9% yesterday and another 20% this morning pre-market. But here's where it gets crazy. Every company that adopts this strategy is playing for the same team, Team Bitcoin. Yeah, they're competing for a limited supply of coins, but the more they accumulate, the more the value of their holdings skyrockets. That's the game. It's a self-reinforcing loop that forces more companies to join. MicroStrategy is now the 93rd largest company in the US purely because of its Bitcoin strategy. Let that sink in. As more companies climb the ranks with this move, it's going to send a message very loud and clear. The only winning strategy is Bitcoin. This isn't just about companies. This applies to everyone, corporations, individuals, even entire nations. Either you operate on a superior monetary standard or you watch your wealth disappear. The sooner you figure this out, the faster you prosper. This is the revolution. And when this idea hits the tipping point, Bitcoin isn't just going to go up. It's going to reprice everything. Forget 6 figures. We're talking about millions of dollars per coin. No one can predict when. But MicroStrategy just hit the accelerator in ways no one saw coming. Fiat capital is about to squeeze into the smallest pool of available Bitcoin we have ever seen. MOASS is coming.
MOASS.
That's right, the mother of all supply shocks. The show that we're about to witness, nothing like it has ever occurred in financial history, so strap the in. And if you're holding Bitcoin, now is the time to truly understand what it is you own. Why is Bitcoin going up? Well, at the end of the day, it's just 10th grade math. Infinity divided by 21 million. The denominator never changes, but the numerator, well, that's fiat, and fiat has no bottom. Tell him, Max.
I've always said that Bitcoin has no top because fiat money has no bottom. There's no backing for fiat money. It's just paper. And I think a couple of things we're going to see happening. Number one, people will no longer accept fiat money for Bitcoin. So that will be a moment of panic. Here's $1 million. Here's $10 million. I want one Bitcoin. Like, we don't want that shit. It's worthless. The world we live in now is a fake world that's been created with the hologram of fiat money because they can print more money to pass new laws to make it easier for them to print more money.
Love Max Keiser, and that is why Bitcoin keeps kicking these doors in. Australian dollar, you're next on the chopping block. Now, we see a lot of people hopping on the MicroStrategy bandwagon, and I get that, but you're not holding the thing. And what are you going to miss out on? You're going to miss out on holding immutable money. Bitcoin is not just number go up technology. It is freedom go up technology, unlike anything we've seen. And I think Bloomberg is onto something, my friends. Bitcoin is untouchable. Regulators couldn't kill it because it's decentralized. They're all waking up to the fact there is no second best, and Bitcoin is demonetizing gold in real time. Go look at the charts. You can see it right now. Look at gold priced in Bitcoin over time. It's so obvious. Now, why is Bitcoin better than gold, you ask? Well, you know what? Why don't I let our friend Peter Schiff break it down for you? Bitcoin is gold, but better. Roll it.
I think the idea behind Bitcoins was to digitally replicate gold, kind of a gold standard for the internet. Gold 2.0. The way they come into existence is that they're mined, just like actual gold. And just like mining gold, when you mine for Bitcoins, you actually expend real resources, real energy. There is a cost associated with creating a Bitcoin, just like there is with gold. In contrast to central banks that create pretty much limitless amounts of currency for nothing, out of thin air at virtually no cost. And also, like gold, there is a limit. There is a scarcity in that there are only 21 million Bitcoins that can be mined into existence. And also, like gold, Bitcoins are divisible. You can take one Bitcoin and make 100 million fractional Bitcoins that collectively would have the value of a whole coin. But the idea is that you can break your Bitcoin up into smaller increments for transactions, just like gold. You can have an ounce of gold, but then you can have a half ounce, you can have a tenth of an ounce, so you can make smaller quantities that are more ideal for transactions. But unlike gold, you can instantaneously, send your Bitcoin over the internet. You can't do that with gold. You can't transport gold because gold actually has substance. Bitcoins exist in cyberspace. When you have gold, you have to protect it. It could be stolen. You have to guard it. Maybe it costs money to store it. You have none of this. It doesn't cost you any money to store your Bitcoins in your digital wallet. So Bitcoins really replicate all of the properties of gold, even improving on some of them.
Hey, Giga Chad was right when he said Bitcoin is something everybody needs, nobody can stop, and few understand. And he has set a massive game in motion. Because whether it's Berkshire Hathaway, Apple, Google, Meta, they're all sitting on melting ice cubes, and they're all burning shareholder value. And they're running out of time for a massive run. Could Bitcoin double in the next 30 days? Well, history doesn't always repeat, but it does rhyme. And what's crazy is if you look back at the last cycle and the cycle before, there is this parabolic run. Bitcoin has been known to double in price in 30 days and beyond. But we had options just launched yesterday. And if we look at what Eric Balchunas says here, it's massively bullish. All the contracts by volume, they were almost all calls. And what he is saying, it is agreeing with the historical behavior, and this is by the action within the market, the price of Bitcoin will double in the next month based on those calls. Buckle up, because Bitcoin is really starting to look a lot like November last year. You remember when we were down in Goblin Town? Well, if history does repeat, we could indeed see 190K Bitcoin, and that's in early 2025. Now, think about this. That's all short-term prospects, that's good, but there is a metric telling us that this here is absolutely nothing in the grand scheme of things, and I'm going to tell you why. But before we do, look at our likes.
I gotta pump those numbers up. Those are rookie numbers in this racket.
Hey, if you're enjoying the show so far, don't forget to like, subscribe, set those notifications for the best in Bitcoin delivered to you daily. Give us a pamp and help us spread the sound money gospel while we take a moment to recognize our sponsors, the masters of Bitcoin self-custody, the Bitcoin Way. Bringing over 25 years of experience in cybersecurity, the Bitcoin Way is your IT team in the Bitcoin world. They'll help take you from that why Bitcoin to the how Bitcoin. From setting up your first wallet node all the way up to inheritance planning, accepting Bitcoin payments for your business. They cover all aspects of Bitcoin security and privacy. They even work with their clients to configure routers, devices, and networks. Also, not to mention UTXO management. In short, for everything in Bitcoin sovereignty and privacy related, they are your go-to source. Big finish time. Okay, now, you remember we were talking about Bitcoin demonetizing gold and exploiting the lie that is fiat currency. But Bitcoin, my friends, is also going to demonetize real estate. Don't believe me? Roll it!
I know wealthy people, they own 16 estates on the Eastern Shore, and they live in 2 of them. Like, why do they buy them? They land banking. What does that mean? Well, the guy makes a lot of money every year, and he doesn't want to put it in a savings account, so he goes and he just buys a cool piece of property, and he buys another one. Well, okay, it sounds good, but here's the problem. The guy buys up the beautiful pieces of property, and so you can't afford it. And if the rich guy wasn't buying up all the beautiful houses, they would cost half as much. And you could live in a beautiful house. So here's what happens. Some rich dude has 27 houses that are empty. You don't have a beautiful house. You have a family. Your kids, your dog could use the beautiful house. The rich dude doesn't even want the house. He just wants a long-term capital preservation strategy, right? And so that's a perverse incentive and a distorted economy. That's broken. That's broken money. That's because the rich dude is using an estate on the Eastern Shore of Maryland as a piggy bank. But the estate doesn't get renovated. The house is falling down. There's a beautiful pool on the water, and you could have a great family picnic there every Sunday, but it's not going to happen because the rich dude has 16 other houses. He just bought that house because he thought it was a good investment. Okay, that's wrong.
You're not bullish enough. And I know what you're thinking. How the hell is Bitcoin's current value 525K? Well, thank you for asking. Boom, ladies and gentlemen, Bitcoin's price follows hash rate. And if you were paying attention, Bitcoin's hash rate is going ballistic. This is what is signaling to us. If you thought Bitcoin was done, that's right, you got another thing coming, and Bitcoin's implied hash rate adjusted price is now 525K, and it looks to be rising. Guys, the game is afoot. Large market caps now run the risk of losing market share if they don't adopt a Bitcoin treasury, and MicroStrategy begins to steal shareholders. Think long term. This is an attack on all of Wall Street. Gradually, then suddenly, Bitcoin treasuries are coming. Bitcoin Valhalla awaits us all. Hey, I hope you guys like this one. Be sure to like, subscribe, set those notifications to get the best in Bitcoin news delivered to you daily. Give us a pamp and stay tuned because Bitcoin simply, Dante is dropping some fire the next couple days. You don't want to miss it. Hey, I love you guys. Always remember God is good, and I'll catch you next time. Peace.
If you prefer to go down with the ship, you.